at Shriners Hospitals for Children. With 22 locations in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, Shriners Hospitals for Children provides expert pediatric specialty care for orthopedic conditions, burns, spinal cord injuries, and cleft lip and palate. Shriners Hospitals for Children brings love to the rescue for children each day, even if the family doesn't have the ability to pay. But they can't do it alone. Will you join the Shriners Hospital for Children team by making a donation to help change lives of children? These amazing children are inspiration to everyone. Please join me and go online today and make a donation.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child, regardless of the family's ability to pay. If you know a child we can help, visit ShrinersHospitalsForChildren.org.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yep.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes. The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
Atlanta Braves play here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let's go!
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
How are you not freaking out right now?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
Good to the last drop flavor.
The Underdogs are here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are live, man. It's a Wednesday in the Rib Crib Radio Room, and what better way to start a Wednesday off than having our guy Max Delighten in the building with us. Your Minute with Max is going to be in the next segment. So to start this, we're going to be slinging sauce with Max. What's going on? Big stuff going on tonight at Rib Crib, right?
Yeah, we have. We actually have a awards night.
Yeah, Bay County Wrestling
for the
Awards.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
WeWa and Bay County, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a great time
staters.
there. And then someone else, I got to check my text message here in a second, but someone else is, I believe, signing a scholarship there tonight as well. That's starting at 6 o'clock, Rib Crib. Great stuff there tonight at 6 o'clock. Y'all go check it out. The Bay County Wrestling Awards or Bay County Wrestler Awards. Going to be some great stuff. I would love to be there, but it is game one of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers, the Battle of Florida.
Let's go.
Tonight, man. I am so stoked for this one. I'm so stoked for all four of the NHL playoff matchups, and I apologize in advance. We'll get off of hockey very shortly because I think we talked about it a lot yesterday, and I've got more at 4:30. But I'm so excited for the Battle of Alberta between Calgary and Edmonton, and so stupidly excited for this Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers. Should be a battle, a lot of scoring, a lot of fighting, a lot of grudges that are probably held over from last year. So
no
super stoked
Florida's
about
favored,
that one.
right?
Yeah, they're favored. They're
Okay.
favored.
I kind of like the Lightning there, plus 150-ish, right?
It's
Plus
somewhere
170,
around there. I don't have the exact odds. I've been paying a little bit more attention to the odds in basketball. So
yeah, same.
let's pivot that way before we get into the 2022 NBA Draft Lottery. But we got to let the good times roll with ESPN Northwest Florida. Everyone's a winner. You can claim a free family 4-pack to the Rudu Music Experience in downtown Panama City, right off of Beach Drive. It's a celebration of New Orleans cuisine, spirits, and music straight from the Big Easy. That's this Saturday, May 21st. Gates open at 11 a.m. You can get your tickets on sale now. I believe they're $15 on the Rudu. That's ROUXDOUX.com. Or if you wait till you get to the door, it's $20. Or you can get a family 4-pack on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Or you could call up and say that you heard about Rudu right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And guess what? I'm going to hit you with 2 free tickets. Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, game 1 tonight. Big Max. We're going to dig a little bit more into that in our minute with Max, but give me your initial thoughts on that before we get into the lottery.
Well, as I've mentioned a couple weeks, I have a future on the Warriors that would win me a substantial amount of money. So I'm still rooting for the Warriors, but for the Warriors' sake, I want the Heat to make it. But for reality's sake, I think the Celtics are going to make it. I don't know how the Warriors can match up, or the Warriors, that's all I'm thinking about, how the Heat can match up with Jason Tatum right now. I mean, Jimmy Butler is going to have a tough time guarding him. But if guys like Grant Williams and other guys are stepping up for the Celtics, I mean, I don't hate the value at Jaylen Brown plus 1,000 to be conference finals MVP.
Ooh.
Just a little outside value there.
Yeah.
But,
we just need to get in some more prop bets here.
Yeah,
I love
rattling
prop
them
bets
off.
though, dude.
Me too. And I think this is going to go 7.
Yeah.
Like, this is like such an even matchup.
So yesterday on the show, me and Boston Sam were going back and forth on, what keys to the series, what we thought the series was going to finish in. I did take Boston yesterday in 7. However, I've been having running bets with my buddy, right? My buddy Dalton Coate, we do bets, and we'll like whoever had the most wins in the previous series, which was him, he ended up basically sweeping because he had the Mavericks, he had the Warriors.
The Mavericks?
Yeah, he took the and that was actually his choice. His choice was to take the Mavericks, or actually it might have been he went with Golden State in the West, so that forced me with Memphis, and then so I picked Phoenix, and then he took so he got Dallas, but he's riding with Boston. So he took first pick in our finals, in our conference finals. So he took the Boston Celtics off rip. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking the Miami Heat then, right? I ain't got no choice.
Right.
And that leaves me with Golden State, which I think in his that was his gist. He wanted to do that because he knew he loves Luka. He loves Luka, so I knew that he was going with the Mavericks anyway, so he kind of got the upper hand because he got the most wins in the previous round, and now I owe him $1. I was up $14. I was up $14, and now I owe him $1, so we're going to keep it running and see how it goes, man. Just a little bit of friendly bets. It always makes it a lot of fun. But going to the west side of things here with the Warriors, quick rundown of what you think what you're going to see from that series.
Yeah, the Mavs are hot. Obviously, the hottest team right now. What they did to the Suns was probably the most embarrassing Game 7 I've ever seen. I've always been a big Chris Paul guy. He should be ashamed of himself for that series and that Game 7. Pathetic. Also, everyone should just ignore what Patrick Beverley is saying.
I was about to say, because we've got a little segment kind of lined up for that later today.
Idiot. Like, he was saying, like, Tatum and Butler don't play both sides of the basketball. Like, has he watched any basketball outside of the games he plays? Like,
ooh, that's rough.
He's such a tough guy who can't make open threes and, like, is so fake tough. And then if someone bodies him up, he complains.
Did you and Caveman get in cahoots on this? Because you
Does
said
Caveman
something.
Not like Beverly too?
No, he said something on Facebook about the same time that you brought it up, and so I told him the same.
What did he say?
He said, "How about Patrick Beverley roasting CP3 today?"
And this was actually not today. This was all yesterday. It was all yesterday. None of this stuff is really.
Right.
I guess I think Patrick Beverley today was answering back to all the other NBA players like Matt Barnes and stuff. He was like, see, from my perspective, all right. From my perspective, I'm not gonna sit there and talk about Chris Paul like that, but they've got a rivalry.
Yeah,
right? You know, so a long-rooted high school.
He stays out all night when he guards Chris Paul. He goes to bed at 8 p.m. when he guards
That's crazy, man. I don't know. Chris Paul did have a rough series. There's no doubt about that. But he's got 8 more better years in a 17-year career than what Patrick Beverley's got in a 9-year career.
Patrick Beverley's never had a better year than Chris Paul in anything.
But as far as entertainment goes, that was entertaining. You don't get that often to see an NBA player current, mind you, not a former J.J. Redick. Yeah, exactly. You don't see them criticize them. They check their they keep their professionalism. And Pat Bev woke up wanting smoke. You know, or wanting to get.
Just woke up angry.
He woke up angry. That was a lot of fun, though. In my opinion, I didn't hate what Pat Beverley was saying. I do think Chris Paul is a great player, and Pat Beverley's words did not change my opinion on how I view Chris Paul.
I mean, yeah, I'd wake up angry too if my best teammate was Karl Anthony Towns. But anyway.
but Big Cat's been playing some good ball as his career has moved on.
Yeah, I agree. But some of his theatrics after blowing that Memphis series were a little much. But anyway, Patrick Beverley is like when you beat your brother 0 to horse, and he's talking trash on the sideline when you're playing against your buddy and you're losing. It's just come on, it's a little thorn in the side. Patrick Beverley is a good defender, but he's not as great as he thinks he is at defense.
I love the mosquito type players, the gnat type players. I love those kind of guys, and I like guys who talk trash. And I think that a lot of people, if they're on the Luka bandwagon, they're attacking anyone who's anti. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Anti-Luka. And there's a lot of people who. And I don't think anyone out here is actually anti-Luka necessarily, but
Because the only flaw you can point out in Luka is he's a terrible defender. That's the only thing that's
He could guard the perimeter a little.
Well, when the Suns were like hunting him though, it was so bad. Like Chris Paul looked like he was 23 against Luka when he was going at him.
Well, I gotta watch my mouth on Luka because I've called him overrated a couple of times, and I just it wasn't. It hasn't been. It was more mid-season or so, but just because I don't like how he's kind of cry babyish to the refs, always talking to the refs. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what the dude is great doing right now, greatness.
Yeah,
it's absolute greatness.
He kind of put Devin Booker in a locker. Like, I mean, Devin Booker, I think, is a guy who he thinks he is what Jason Tatum actually is. Like, Devin Booker didn't take over any games, but he was a great regular season hero. But in the playoffs, he wasn't really that existent. I mean, he had some good games, but when came to crunch time, like him and Chris Paul, they were 0 for 11 in the first half of Game 7. Like,
Chris Paul did not have a bucket till the third.
Yeah, exactly. And Jason Tatum is getting double teamed by Giannis and Drew Holiday and still putting up 28. Like, as soon as he got across half court, he was getting doubled.
I'm so excited. I'm more excited for the Eastern Conference Finals than I am the Western Conference, and it's kind of crazy to think that because you've got some heavyweights in Golden State and Dallas. Well, do we consider Dallas a heavyweight? I don't.
They're kind of
Golden
like a
State
Cinderella-ish.
They are. They're, a little bit higher, like Cinderella that's already got the glass slipper on her foot, not the one that's, cleaning up the stepmom's house or whatever.
Right. So, that's a good analogy.
So I'm excited for both sides of the series here. But when it comes to that Eastern Conference and Boston and Miami, the stories that are there between those two franchises, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, both teams play. You never know. Is it going to be Tatum? Is it going to be Brown? Is it going to be Smart? Is it going to be a role player? Is Grant Williams going to score the most is Grant Williams going to score the most for
Hit like 8 threes game 7?
The most he's ever had. First time that he's ever led Boston in scoring. And you get the same kind of production out of a Tyler Hero. Can we see more out of Duncan Robinson? So I'm so excited for the Eastern Conference Finals and just what could be.
I'm a big Tyler Hero guy. I feel like he gets a lot of hate. I don't know why, but he was 6th man of the year, and he is such a good asset off the bench. As soon as he comes in, he still averaged, 18 or 20 a game?
I don't know the exact average of it. I don't know the exact average, but I know that there's – in the games that they need him the most, he's there.
He's a baller.
He's a baller. He's a baller regardless, but sometimes it's just, is he getting enough minutes to be the baller?
Okay, he averaged almost 21 points a game this year off the bench.
See, I was going to say maybe it was closer to 25. I think 25 was closer to his regular season numbers overall, but still. What do you think about the NBA draft lottery tonight? It's only going to determine the order of the top 4 picks. After that, then the next 10 lottery picks behind that, meaning 4 or 5 through 14, just fall in order from worst remaining record to the best. Your top 3 guys on the board: Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, Paulo Banchero. The odds, who do you think gets it? The Rockets, they have 52.1% to get into the top 4. Same with the Magic, same with the Pistons. Thunder right behind them at 48.1. I think they're the only 4 teams that, well, I don't know. Maybe the Pacers. I don't see a 42.1% chance making it happen. Of these 3 teams, which do you think gets it? Which team do you want to get it? And which team needs it the most?
Yeah, whose team has changed the most by this?
For me,
do you guys believe in the NBA being like a little rigged or no on lottery stuff? Like, I know
on lottery stuff?
They used to have like cold envelope theory, but because for the league's sake, it's a lot of big market teams. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Thunder get the first pick because the Thunder have so many like first round picks stacked up.
Yeah,
they could be super exciting, and the West is gonna keep getting more stacked.
Caveman says the Magic needs it the most.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, I mean,
does he think it's rigged too?
Yeah,
okay.
He thinks it's rigged.
Yeah,
my man.
Yeah,
Caveman thinks everything.
He thinks everything's rigged.
But no.
Yeah.
The Rockets for me I would love to see the Magic get it. Cole Anthony get somebody to play with him. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to see the Magic kind of become something again. I think that the team that could use it the most, though, the team I want to get it is the Magic. But put some other youngins over there with the Pistons and Cade Cunningham.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
They could be a force. They could be one of those, not quite yet, but if they were to get a guy like Jaden Ivey.
I love Jaden Ivey.
Which he's not going to be the number 1 pick, so you don't even really want to vie for the number
Top
1 pick.
4, though.
But a Jabari Smith,
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, I don't know, of these 4 teams, I'm not wasting my time on Chet Holmgren as the number 1 pick.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with Paolo Banchero or Jabari Smith. Like either or.
They're very similar type players.
I miss Tim in here going, Paolo!
No doubt.
I mean, if you just want me to yell at you every once in a while, I will. I have no problem
Just
with
go
it.
full Bastion.
Yeah, just right off the gate.
But, okay, Rick deserves the credit that it's totally rigged if the Lakers get a top 4 pick. If the Lakers get a top 4
But
pick.
even if they get a top 4 pick, though, isn't that would go to somewhere else, right?
No, they can get a top 4 pick, I think.
No, the Lakers' first-round pick will convey to the New Orleans Pelicans if it falls within the top 10.
Okay.
The Grizzlies receive the pick if it so would they even do that? Would they rig it to be like, Lakers, but it's not happening anymore?
Yeah, here you go.
Okay.
Just kidding.
But if the Lakers did get it, that would smell fishy. I don't see, honestly. It's kind of like the schedule release for me. It's like, I like seeing the marquee games and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal to me. Same way with the lottery. Like, at this point in time, by the time that next week is here, I'm going to have to go back and research, like, who won the lottery and stuff like that. Because I like to talk about it, but it doesn't really. So I guess what I'm getting at is not that I don't dislike it or anything, is that I don't follow it enough to actually give a solid opinion on if I think it's rigged or not.
Right. I mean, the only reason I have that thought too is just because the Bulls got Derrick Rose and we had a 1.8% chance to get the first pick. I mean, I'll take it if odds are odds. Hey,
Cavaliers got the 2.4. Could you imagine what they could do? Now, if I was the Cavaliers, and I got the number 1 pick, I would think about getting Chet Holmgren.
Okay.
As the Cavs, because they're not very big, but we saw explosions from them last year. You're going to get Colin Sexton if he re-signs with you. He's back with you. If I'm them, but if really out in those top 4 or 5 teams, ain't no way I'm going that way.
I think there's definitely a world too where LeBron ends up going back to Cleveland because his son is on their G League team.
Oh.
So I could see with that.
And he's made that statement though, right? Like
wherever
he wanted his
goes.
last season to be with him.
Oh yeah,
Right.
And it will be. You know what my bold prediction is, and we're maybe 6 years out from this. Bryce is going to be better than Bronny. Bryce is his second son. I think he's going to be better than Bronny.
You think?
The kid. I think he's playing middle school basketball or something right now.
Yeah.
But he's dunking. He's in 8th grade or something. But he's dunking, and he just looks. Yeah, right. But he looks comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looks comfortable playing the game. Whereas Bronny, I feel like is going to be the first one to actually have to live up to that hype.
He got When LeBron's he's gonna build his own legacy, it's like, dude, you named him Junior. Come on.
What'd you expect?
Yeah.
Would it be easier? Is the pressure higher, or is it easier to deal with if Dad's on your team? I guess a great person to ask that question would be Ken Griffey Jr. But you know what I mean? If you're playing with Dad,
a reverse dynamic since he was so much better than his dad.
Yeah.
So when I was in the Army, I deployed with my father, and he was my commanding officer.
Thanks
and I'm
for
gonna tell you,
your
it makes it so much worse.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, it's 100, because no matter what, you're like, this is gonna get back to him.
Because and you want to live up to people's expectations, but your father, someone close to you, you want to live up to even more.
Right.
And then when they're at your workplace, it's like,
okay,
all right,
that's what we're doing then.
And it would be different, right? If you said the element was opposite, and Bronny was supposed to be better than what LeBron was. And maybe it could be, but I'm saying we're far out. We're far out from that. We gotta take a break.
Thank God that's not Michael Jordan, right? The GOAT.
Well, Jeffrey Jordan and the other son, they didn't fare too well. They played some college basketball, but I don't know how far their careers went after that. We're gonna be right back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Coming up is Your Minute with Max.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. You can't just bail on the draft and develop part of the game. And the Lakers, the last guy they developed was Kobe. I understood bringing LeBron here. But just because the Warriors brought in KD, it didn't mean they lost sort of their DNA on draft and develop.
The Herd, weekdays 11 to 2 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
My weather forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, 70 to 75, light southwest winds. Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny skies in the mid-80s, a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. An increasing chance of a shower thunderstorm Friday in the mid-80s or so. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Kraft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, Kraft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Kraft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Blue Top Waffle Shop, Riptide Power and Soft Wash, Taco Doctors, and the Eye Studio.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida Big Billboard Prize Pack. We're celebrating our big billboards in Bay County with a super-sized prize pack. We got 11 gift cards. You're going to be eating, drinking, shopping, and going on adventures all over Bay County for free. 3 steps. Take a picture of one of our big billboards. Post it on Facebook. Tag ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo. Then we'll select a winner at random to win a jumbo-sized prize pack. You can also find out what else we put inside the prize pack if you head on over to ESPNPC.com. This is your Minute with Max. We have the Bay County Wrestling Awards or Wrestler Awards going on at right now. Or no, 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. I'm used to ribs and rides and bike night going on a little bit earlier.
For all-state wrestlers.
Yeah, all-state wrestlers, 6 to 8, man. Good stuff going on tonight over at Rib Crib. So make sure you get down there, get some great barbecue, and just enjoy it, man. They also have C.J. Williams from Mosley signing to wrestle in college at the event. So big news there. What else is going on with PRG?
Pay some homage to our local beasts.
There we go. We have Valerie Solorio on the show Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you get a chance to watch that?
What a talent.
She was so exciting to have on the show.
What a talent, like through and through. Like, once she gets done with MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever, she's wrestling now for the foreseeable future. But after that, MMA, and I could definitely see WWE in her future because she's got the charisma to do it. What else we got going on at Rib Crib or in PRG?
We've got Ribs and Rides. That's my personal favorite event. Usually gets our best turnout, good night in sales, and just really great for the community just to have everyone out in the parking lot eating their ribs and enjoying a nice night out in Callaway.
There you go.
And then we have Springfield Youth Football coming on Friday for a Spirit Night. Shout out our local football children.
Yeah, football children, let's go.
And then we've got Bike Night June 7th, and the next Ribs and Rides June 16th, which I will remind people.
So we got May 19th, this Thursday, right?
Yes.
May 19th and then June 16th, so a month ahead already. I like that.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded. We have some more fun events coming, but I'll keep them close to chest until closer.
Ooh, those
maybe
are my
off the
favorite.
air, huh?
Yeah, a little off-air secrets. Yeah.
Let's get into it, though. Only got about 7 minutes left in this segment before we get to Andrew Weiss. I know you want to talk some soccer, so let's lead off with the biggest headline of the day. Lionel Messi in 2023 heading over to Inter Miami. What does that do for not only Messi's career, but the MLS as a whole?
Well, it's super sick. I mean, if you don't like soccer, you should at least, take away like your ego a little bit on it and watch Messi play. Go to Orlando, go to Miami, or whenever he's playing close by, or in Atlanta, because he's the greatest of all time, and there's not a talent in the world like him, and he's still the greatest of all time. It's really cool because he's going to own about 35% of the team, but it's going to be so easy for him. I mean, he's playing in the French league right now, which is like the fourth best soccer league, and the MLS is like the 17th best soccer league in the world. So he can just have his way. Like, it depends how much he tries.
But will he, especially being an owner, still having some left in the tank?
Oh, yeah.
Does he raise the bar more for the MLS, even though it's does he continue the work that David Beckham and other guys before him have done to make this league better?
I sure hope so. And then Juventus legend Giorgio Chiellini is also going to be coming in. So we've had like Bastian Schweinsteiger, Wayne Rooney, Temuc Blanco, like a few other like really big names who played abroad. And I hope at some point, some guys can come play in their prime. I mean, Zlatan played at the end of his career too, but like he still dominated. It's just crazy to show you the talent level. I mean, it's the same thing where if we had like, I guess it's very comparable to if you had LeBron 2 or 3 years from now go over to Europe and play in that league, he would just torch them.
He probably will.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
I mean, we got Drew Brees going to play pickleball for a living, and now LeBron playing soccer.
LeBron, he was talking about going play basketball.
Oh.
Hit the fridge. All right, so you said you wanted to talk about soccer and the championships that are coming up.
It's championship weekend. Liverpool is competing for a quadruple, which is where you win all 4 cups.
They just beat Chelsea in the first ever.
In the FA Cup, they beat
in the FA Cup, but it was the first time that the FA Cup has ever played to a draw and had to go to pens.
Extra times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man City, if they win this weekend, will win the EPL.
Okay.
Which is probably going to happen. Tottenham, my team, moved into the top 4, so if they close out with a win or tie this weekend, they're in the Champions League next year.
Okay.
So that's the incentive to finish top 4. It kind of stinks there's not a playoff.
Yeah.
But it's 38-game table. But otherwise, I know another thing we want to talk about, too, is little baseball, right?
Yeah, the prospects, right? Well, yeah, you got to get what we can get in now, man.
Yeah. We're go. Yeah, another thing I wanted to bring up because I do some work on the side for RotoWire, their fantasy sports side of things for baseball. But this is probably the deadest the baseball has been. I know there's a stat that balls over 103 miles per hour or a double or more on it was something like 86% of occasions last year, and the balls are totally juiced down. That's why you're seeing guys like Miles Mikolas or Pablo Lopez just dominate right now. Some guys.
I picked Mikolas up on my.
Me too. And Nestor Cortez, these guys.
I've been had Cortez, man. He deleted his Twitter.
Nasty Nestor. But yeah. So there's a lot of really good prospects right now. It's kind of similar to how the NBA is kind of at I would say a peak right now in terms of talent. That's how the MLB is, but it's not being showcased as well because they change the baseball every year, which is super dumb. And just all these prospects missed so much time during COVID, and it was a crucial year of their development. So they all got pushed into the pros pretty quickly for teams that are expecting production now. So we've seen a ton of top 10 prospects struggle, like Spencer Torkelson. Jared Kelenic got sent down.
Yeah, got sent down. Do you think that was a manipulation move by the Mariners, especially ahead of playing the Mets?
I would, but because he played last year too and kind of struggled, I think they were like, dude, what's going on? Because he did well in spring training. He's mashed in every level of the minors, but in the pros, it's just not clicking for him. And C.J. Abrams was a total rush. He only was up because Fernando Tatis was out, and they wanted to see what he could do, but he blew out his knee last year, so that's why they pushed him up, just to see if he could play. But
I think that's a great point that I haven't really heard as much, that losing that year in such a prime time of your development, that's why I'm curious as to how it's going to work for Stingley. Even though he did play, I believe he played 10 games, and this is college football. But he's playing for the Houston Texans now, LSU cornerback. I wonder how that's going to work, because that is true. Maybe not as true in football as it is in baseball, but you lose a year of your youth in a game that you're developing in for a long time. That can only hurt.
Right, and I think in football you can kind of get back in the rhythm fairly quick compared to baseball, just because it's a lot different running the motion. You can stay in shape the whole time, but you're not facing these guys who are throwing harder than they've ever thrown in the league and have more spin than they've ever had. And I think it really just delayed a lot of their development. Because Jamar Chase, he took a year off and he was one of the best receivers in the NFL this year, and he didn't miss a beat. I know he's also a freak talent, but still.
Well, so Stingley could be and was thought of that way in 2019 just as well. So I agree with you that I don't think that it's anywhere near problematic in the game of football as what it is in baseball, or if you were a golfer.
Yeah.
And you were close to the Kerry Fern. but you're close to the what's it, Kerry Fern Tour?
Yeah.
The basically all right, and you take a year off at that level, it's hard to get right back to there because you're not there yet. You know what I mean? You haven't got it all figured out. Whereas if you hit the PGA year off, not as big of a problem.
That's a great point, because I wonder if that's why we've seen some of the shifts, or if it's just been how some of these guys trained during the time they were off during COVID. Because we saw, Bryson kind of take a step back, Brooks take a step back, but Brooks also is kind of he doesn't really love golf. He says it's more of a hobby for him. But we saw guys like Scotty Scheffler shoot up, Colin Morikawa, guys who practice. So I don't know.
Yeah, and golf is totally different too, because you can practice it pretty much all the time.
Except in Illinois, the golf courses were closed.
Well, yeah, but if you're headed in that direction to actually be a PGA golfer, you're probably going to come down to Florida, where they say play golf as much as you want to, my friend. We got to take a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. May 19th, get on down to Rib Crib for ribs and rides. June 16th as well, but that's a little ways off. So why don't you go head that way at 6 o'clock tonight and enjoy the award shows for the Bay County Wrestlers. We'll be right back with Andrew Weiss, y'all.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Luka Doncic, my God.
There's a little bit of a Magic Johnson showtime in him. It's something about him that he just got that that stuff. He is probably going to win the championship by himself.
Luka's going to play at the pace he wants to play. You're not going to speed him up. You're not going to do anything to him.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings, 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let your adventures begin in a new Kia from Billboard Kia. Stop by today and discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on a new purchase of the 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorento. Billboard Kia is not only the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're also the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillboardKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billboard Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/31/22.
It's the cooling season, and time to call Steverson Air Conditioning for your preventative maintenance to keep your air conditioning system operating at full capacity. Steverson Air Conditioning has preventative maintenance programs, and they service all makes and models. Steverson Air Conditioning offers air duct cleaning. Steverson Air Conditioning has after-hours service and free estimates on a system change-out or duct cleaning. Call them at 248-1109.
The beach's newest and best authentic Mexican restaurant on Panama City Beach is El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Not only do they have a great location and atmosphere, but they also have happy hour from 3 till 7. Buy one, get one free. Lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 till 3. Come out to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill on Friday nights for the excitement of their mariachi band. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill on Thomas Drive across from the Navy base.
His cologne is made out of tiger blood. He's seen every Vin Diesel movie and... winning. He's dating your daughter. David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Radio Room, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back, man, and I am so excited to be talking with the Tampa Bay Lightning brand development ambassador, Andrew Weiss. Andrew, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man, so glad. At first, when I messaged you, I was like, oh, he's not going to be able to do it, because normally when the Lightning are playing at the house, I know that you're at every game, aren't you?
Every game.
Every game. So that's why I was like, oh, he's not going to be able to make it. And then I'm like, wait, no, we're down in Sunrise. So I shot you a message. So appreciative of you being able to make some time for today. Give us your take on the series versus the Leafs and how we can use that momentum in the upcoming series against the Cats.
Yeah, I know last time we talked, I mentioned how the Eastern Conference this year is just so stacked from top to bottom. The worst team, quote-unquote, to make the playoffs this year for the East was the Capitals, and they had a 100-point season. It used to be you had a 100-point season, you were the favorite of the contender, right? Now it's the entire conference found ways to become really good. So no matter what, you're going to have a tough matchup in that conference. The Lightning really had that in the first round. You go up against a Maple Leafs team that was second in the division, but fourth in the entire NHL in overall points. Yes, they have had some history losing playoff series in the most dramatically heartbreaking ways, but it's still a talented team. You still have a 60-goal scorer in Austin Matthews. You have a 97-point guy in Mitch Marner. It was a talented Toronto team that took the Lightning all the way to the brink and really had them on the ledge. They had a 3-2 series lead. But that's where championship hockey is shown, right? It's when your back's against the wall. What are you made out of? What is your fortitude? And this is a Tampa Bay team that has won now 9 straight playoff series. They're one away. If they can find a way to beat the Panthers, they're one playoff series away from being just the 4th team in NHL history to win 10 or more straight playoff series. So it shows you how this team has a championship pedigree. They have that mentality. They don't panic. And, it's a job of, our fans and everyone wants to get excited and ride the emotional roller coaster. And that's what makes being a fan of this sport so much fun, is that you never know what's going to happen, the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But for the locker room, they don't really ride that roller coaster. They focus on the next play, the next shift, the next game, whatever it might be. So that's what you really take away from that series into this Panthers series. You're playing against the President's Trophy winning Panthers, the deepest team right now in the Eastern Conference, the best version of the Panthers we've ever seen, and a team that can score a lot of goals. There are going to be bad shifts. There might be a handful of bad games. But it's all about moving forward. As soon as it happens, it's over. It's in the past. And that's what this team is going to do. They're going to find ways to win games. Even without a guy like Braden Point, they're going to have to find ways to win games just by taking on that next man up, next shift, next game mentality.
I love that, man. That is a fantastic take. What do you expect to see from the series tonight, especially the series opener, series in general? But no, man, what do you think about Game 1 in general with John Cooper being 9-12 in Game 1s?
Well, the funny thing with Game 1s with this team, it's one of two things. It's either the first game at home or the first game in general. They find ways to struggle, and I don't know why they've done that or how they've done that. That's been for years in the making, but they still win playoff series. That's the funniest thing. Look at the last series. They lost the first game of the series and the first home game. So that happens sometimes where it's both. Sometimes it's the exact same game, Game 1 being also the first home game. But they find ways to struggle in that, and I don't understand how it happens. But they still find ways to win the series, which is hilarious to me. But it should be interesting tonight with the Panthers. This is a rivalry, right? This is always a rivalry, even when the Panthers were really bad. Even when the Lightning were bad, when both teams were bad, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. They don't like each other. You see them all the time. You take a quick trip down the road. Now that both teams are good, look at last year's playoff series. It was one of, if not the most entertaining series in the entire postseason last year. There was great games, great hockey, great back and forth. If you were a coach, you probably were stressed out of your mind. But if you're a fan, you were probably living that roller coaster to the extreme of high and low. You're going to see that today. You're going to see some bad blood. You're going to see some battles. You're going to see two teams that don't like each other very much. And with Point out of the lineup, you're going to see a Lightning team that, missing a little bit more skill, might have to get a little more physical. So it should be interesting, but I would expect a very physical, probably a lot of scrum-heavy game.
Those are my favorite, man. Do you think that it's going to be high scoring as well?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that this is a Lightning team that can find ways to keep games low scoring when they need to. We saw that in Game 7 especially. But the urgency ramps up as a series goes on, and the rest of a player, the overall fatigue of a player, that also ramps up as the series goes on. So I think you're going to see more high-scoring affairs earlier in the series. We saw it last year, the first game, a 6-5 Lightning win. You know, you still have good goaltending, you still have good defense, but there's just so much talent here and so much willingness to score and open up lanes. These two teams always find ways to have high-scoring, dramatic games. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a 4-3, 5-4 kind of nonsense tonight.
Oh, man, you're getting me so pumped up for the game tonight, man. What are you hearing about Braden Point's injury? And could it be the whole series? Do you think maybe 2 or 3 games? What are you hearing, Andrew?
Well, John Cooper did say he was day-to-day during the regular season. That could be a handful of days or a week or two. During the postseason, that could be a handful of days, a week or two, or the rest of the playoffs, or a whole year. That's the gamesmanship, right? That's the gamesmanship in the playoffs where coaches don't want to tip their hand. So he did say Point was doubtful for tonight. He's not going to play tonight. I can't see him playing tonight's game. If he does, it'd be, a little bit of a shock, but no one's going to complain if you're a Lightning fan. But I think if he does return to the postseason, to this series, it's not going to be Game 1. I don't think it'll be Game 2. The hope is that it's something minor that he can battle through as the series goes on. But I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him for a while here, just depending on really what the extent of the injury is. We don't know what the injury is from the outside perspective. We're not sure what the extent of it could be. But just based off of how Cooper was talking about it, he's day-to-day, he's doubtful for Game 1. Players aren't doubtful for the first game. They're questionable or like, oh, we'll see, game time decision when they're close in the regular season. This being the playoffs, this being gamesmanship season, all of that, I would wager it's probably going to be a multi-game absence of some kind, although, of course, we hope that it's not.
We're talking to Andrew Weiss, who is a Tampa Bay Lightning brand development ambassador. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Who do the Lightning need to focus on defensively in this series?
Well, that's the thing with Florida. They're the deepest team in the East right now. They can score with any of their 4 lines, and we saw that in a few games earlier this season. I remember being down in Sunrise, actually it was for my birthday back in December. Panthers won 9-3, I think it was, 9-2, 9-3, something crazy like that. Now, the Lightning were missing both Point and Kucherov. Vasilevsky also is not playing. I believe he was in COVID protocol. They had Maxime Legacy starting the game. They had a few COVID protocol guys at the time. So it was not the Lightning that we know and love. But this is still a Panthers team that can score throughout the lineup. All of that said, the biggest name this season was Jonathan Huberdeau. That was an incredible year for Huberdeau and the Panthers, 115-point campaign, tied for second in the NHL. That's a guy that can put pucks on net, pucks in the net, pass it. He's a great playmaking winger for the Panthers. However, he does play second-line minutes. They usually throw the Barkov line. Alexander Barkov, one of the top two-way players in the league, was a self-nominee, just announced today. He was a finalist for best two-way player in the league. So, you have that top line that can play both sides of the ice. That second line is more focused on offense. The way to beat that, you keep them pinned in their own zone. Huberdeau's not known for his defensive play. If you can keep his line in his own end of the ice, that's how you win the series.
Do you think Nick Paul found his stride last series, especially in Game 7?
Yeah, I think so. I know a lot of people have been waiting for Paul and Hagel to have a hat trick every single game because that's what deadline editions do. I say very, very facetiously, but I think a lot of people forget is that Blake Coleman and Barkley Goodrow, as much as we loved them and how good they were with Yanni Gord and how great that line was for 2 years, they started off slow coming over from the Devils and Sharks, respectively, a few years ago when they came over in that deadline trade. And it took them that time off in between the end of the season and the bubble in Toronto and then Edmonton to really find their groove. So it takes time. Like you're uprooting your whole life, moving to a whole new place, a whole new team, new systems, new coaches. You know, they paid a big price for you. There's pressure on you from yourself, mentally, all this stuff. So it takes time to get in that groove. I think Hagel's coming along, and he's going to be someone that's more long-term as well. He'll be good for this season, next season, the year after. But Paul, like you mentioned, I thought he had a really good series against the Leafs. Scoring 2 goals or 3 goals a game is not going to be his thing, but he can make an impact on or off the score sheet every game. And I think up until Game 7, he was doing that off the score sheet, and then he found that magic touch Game 7. And like they said before the game, I think it was Stamkos that said it before the game, Game 7, anyone can be a hero, right? Someone's going to be a hero after tonight, and you never know who it's going to be. How many people are like, yeah, Nick Paul, that's going to be the guy?
Right.
There's definitely a few. I'll give credit where it's due. But you never know who's going to make an impact. And that's the thing is he had a good series, and he just found a way to make a more noticeable impact on the score sheet on Saturday night.
Tom Brady versus LeBron in a shootout. Who you got?
It's tough. I've got LeBron. I love Tom Brady more now that he's in Tampa. I'm a Dolphins fan, so watching him when he was with the Patriots was very tough. But he's actually become really likable in Tampa, even as a salty Dolphins fan. So, you know, I say LeBron with that said, right? I want to acknowledge my biases. I still like Tom Brady here. I actually saw Gronk today, so even, you know, there you go. There's the Bucks connection. So, you know, I've got some more respect and love for him now. But LeBron's just such a great athlete. They're both on skates. I can't imagine either one's going to be all that great on skates. But LeBron just has you know, he's so naturally gifted. He could have played football. He could have played basketball. I really hope he doesn't try to play baseball because it didn't work for MJ. But I'd be interested to see both of them try hockey. You never know.
Andrew, thanks so much. Y'all can follow Andrew on Twitter at WEISS Hockey Talk. And then from there, you need to go get his Weiss Hockey Talk newsletter. Man, it comes to your inbox. It's every Tuesday still, right? Yeah, Tuesday. Every Tuesday I get it, and I enjoy it, man. He's got the links in there with everything. Great tidbits, great information, quick hits, all of that good stuff. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us today, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun talking hockey.
Absolutely. I love talking hockey, and his job is to grow the brand, not just of the Lightning, I'm sure, but hockey in general. Andrew, thanks so much. We're going to be right back with talk a little bit about what's happening in Alabama, Texas. It's really more so Texas and what's going on with Texas A&M. Well, not what's going on with, but the future of Texas A&M. Stick with us.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Thinking that you were just giving up on the Falcons.
When you've been through the pain of 28-3, you've been through the pain of going to the Super Bowl and your defensive star gets arrested the night before the game. I mean, there's just so many circumstances where it's just painful to be a fan.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
My weather forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, 70 to 75, light southwest winds. Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny skies and the mid-80s, a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. An increasing chance of a shower thunderstorm Friday in the mid-80s or so.
This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601, 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You are listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are home of the defending World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves. And tonight we've got the Brewers, 6 o'clock for the coverage time, 6:40 p.m. for first pitch. We're going to be having a little bit of a bullpen game tonight with Tucker Davidson set to go, who does not have a record but has an ERA of about 18. Now, Coach Siegel has just called in to talk a little bit more about the Bay County Wrestler Awards going on tonight at Rib Crib, starting at 6 o'clock, going till 8 o'clock. Coach Siegel, what's going on?
Oh, man, we're fired up tonight.
There we go. So what kind of food would you recommend tonight while we're watching the Bay County Area Awards for the wrestlers?
All right, so check it out. If someone's a real eater, like they ain't scared, they ain't coming in weak, they need to come in there and try the Chunky Boy sandwich. It's good. I mean, the Pigman sandwich is good, but that Chunky Boy one's even better. Woo!
I'm pretty sure that's got my name written on it.
There you go.
I'm telling you, that thing is basically got every piece of meat and then a rib on top.
Oh, man. So tell us a little bit about the awards, what they're going to be representing tonight, and how the whole shindig goes down.
Yeah, well, what we're doing tonight is, first of all, we got Mosley wrestler C.J. Williams going to sign his scholarship to Huntington University in Alabama. So that's a huge deal right there. And we're excited for CJ.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we're going to present all the wrestlers from Washington County and Bay County. So we got to include Weewa, which we basically adopt into Bay County anyways. And all the guys that placed, I shouldn't say guys, girls and guys that placed or won state, they're going to get an award tonight because, they have all these parades and everything for all these other teams that win state. You got wrestlers that win state, and they just went, hey, good job, pat on the back. Come on now. That's a big thing. So we've got 2 state champions, Valerie Solario and Henley Haynes, both from Mosley. They're going to come up there. And then we've got a girl that took second, third in state from Weewa Hitchcock. Kaylee Easter is going to come on up there. And then we've got Nick Hakey, we've got Derrick Williams, and David Mercado that all placed in state. Then we got a young man that placed at USA Folk Style State and won it, and that's Logan Mcallister out of North Bay Haven, so he's getting an award. Then we had only 2 junior high guys in the whole Panhandle won state championships this year. One named David Crilly off the beach. He won the Alabama Youth Wrestling Association state championship, which is the AAU state championship for Alabama, because in the Panhandle they let you compete in Alabama and in Georgia. And then another kid named Bear Siegel, who won the Georgia AAU state championship, the USA Folk Style state championship, and then just took third at the Greco USA state championships.
Let's go. I mean, we always brag on what type of athletes we're breeding out of Bay County right here. But when it comes to wrestling, you mentioned, is this an inaugural type of ceremony for wrestlers?
We're going to do it every year. And then here's another thing. All those names I just told you, The only seniors are CJ, who's going to college to wrestle, and Nick Hakey. Everyone else is back.
Wow.
All those. So you're talking about, the Panhandle and Bay County in particular used to be a hotbed for wrestling. When the Deatons were coaching in wrestling and Jordy Falk and all these other guys, I mean, this was the place. And when I came here, that was something that everybody discussed. How do we get it back? I think it's on its way back. And it's part of these local clubs that have built up youth wrestling. The high school coaches are vested in and working the kids year-round and getting them out. And you've got some talented kids that are going out. And in girls wrestling, this is kind of the hotbed for the state. You've got two of the best wrestlers in the nation sitting right here in Panama City.
Yeah, I've had Bears. Well, he's never been on the show, but I've met Bear before. I've met David Mercado. He's been on the show before. Henley and Valerie. Yeah. Valerie was on the show with us this past Thursday. And what an amazing human being that young lady is.
Oh, she is amazing. She is, well-spoken, great student, competitor. And when she flips that switch, I'm telling you what now, I wouldn't want to wrestle her. She ain't playing around.
No doubt. I had to keep scooting my chair over just a little bit further away from her because I was making sure that all my questions came correctly. We also had coaches Wes Lumpkin with the Gulf Coast Grappling Academy and Jeff Skipper with Mosley as well in with this. And so I asked them the question about, and you just touched on it, the community of wrestling here in Bay County. And without that, do you think that it would have the resurgence that it's having at this point in time?
No, it's all about these parents and these youth coaches and high school coaches that decided we're going to do this, and they've done it. And the greatest thing, I think, is when you watch the club, in particular Gulf Coast Grappling Academy, the kids are from all the different high schools. The egos have been checked, and that was something I heard Valerie say last year, that it's so neat to watch when we go as a team. We're all from different schools, but yet everybody checks their egos at the door.
Man, what a credit that is. And you were a wrestler growing up, football player, you did it all. But the discipline that wrestling creates for you as an athlete compared to some of the other sports where I'm not saying that there isn't discipline instilled there, but it's just not to the same level.
No, wrestling takes a lot of discipline. I say it's a martial art. And it really is. You've got to have the discipline. Like Bear last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, we were driving to Wisconsin from here for a wrestling tournament, and he was over, so he couldn't eat the whole drive from here to the Wisconsin Dells, and he had to, focus and watch me because, I'm not going to not eat.
I was about to say, how tough was that with you being the driver there?
Hiding in the bathroom eating a sandwich?
Oh, no, I just put it right in front of him. He hates riding with me. Now, last 2 weeks ago, Derrick and him both had to make weight, and obviously I didn't, so it was a rough time for both of them. But, hey, that's discipline on their part and no discipline on my part.
Hey, but you've passed the point of learning discipline and now teaching discipline to the youngins. That's just the way of life.
It's do as I say, not do as I do.
Amen. Coach, you got a quick update on what's going on up in Kansas with Austin?
Yeah, he was rotating with the ones at linebacker. Got hit from behind in a pile-up in a scrimmage and tore something in his hip and groin, and they were going to do surgery, but, Austin. So he ended up missing about a week of practice, got back in there. Then in the spring game, his finger dislocated. He ran to the sideline, had him put it back in. He ran back in, played 2 more snaps. It dislocated again. He ran to the sideline, had him tape it, went back in. It popped out again. They taped it again. He went back in. So they've taken some X-rays, and they're going to wait and see about putting a pin in there or not. But he's a pretty tough kid, so he's going to be all right.
Hey, that's the Siegel way right there, man. Hey, Coach Siegel, thanks so much for the call, the update, and for all that you guys are doing as a community in the wrestling community.
Oh, thanks a lot. Like Rib Crib, we really appreciate everything they're doing, and people need to come out and eat some barbecue out there. I challenge anybody who want to try and go against me on one of those munchie things. Let's go.
All right, that's Coach Siegel, ladies and gentlemen, and he's sending out a challenge to all of you who's got him on the Chunky Boy Burger. And if you got to get there tonight, it's just a perfect time to go celebrate. Like he said, a lot of these other teams and athletes, they get celebrated when they win a championship. And in my opinion, one of the hardest sports to come out on top as a solo individual athlete, it's got to be wrestling.
It's got to be tough, man. It's got to be.
It's got to be. We've got
big shout out to them kids out there, man.
Rib Crib tonight, 6 to 8 for the Bay County Area Wrestler Awards. Weewall's included. C.J. Williams signing his scholarship to Huntington. That's going to be a great time. We're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be talking to Teresa Walker, who is an AP Pro Football writer.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Have you seen the new ESPN Northwest Florida billboards across Bay County? Take a picture of one of our big billboards to win a big prize pack. Post the pic on Facebook and tag ESPN Northwest Florida for a chance to win. With 11 gift cards, you'll be eating, drinking, shopping, and going on adventures all over Bay County for free. Find out what else we've stuffed inside this mega large prize pack at ESPNPC.com.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. We can help you have a lawn that you can enjoy with your family. We can get rid of all the insects that destroy your parties. We can get rid of the weeds that give you anxiety, and we can fertilize your lawn and make sure that it's completely green and healthy, just the way you like it. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900.
Are you tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance? Or finding out you still have significant copays or deductibles out of pocket when you go to the doctor? Call KHS & Associates. Their independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health insurance costs while improving coverage with no copays, no 80/20 co-insurance, and no deductibles unless hospitalized overnight. Call KHS & Associates, 502-386-1128.
Bay Handyman Services is your complete home services company. Their slogan is listen better, plan better, build better. Bay Handyman Services holds a 5-star rating, and they're a local company serving Bay and surrounding counties. They offer a wide variety of services, from simply hanging a picture to full house remodels. Bay Handyman Services provides 24/7 emergency services. Call them at 850-753-5014 or visit their website, bayhandymanservices.com.
The brand new Burger King at Weewa Hitchka is looking for managers and team members. You'll get to use your smile and personality and get paid for it. You'll be responsible for getting guests excited about their experience every day at Burger King. You'll get to work in a safe, productive environment that allows employees to thrive and advance with career opportunities. Burger King promotes from within. They offer training and development, flexible schedules, employee meal discounts, and scholarship opportunities. Burger King is an equal opportunity employer. Interested job seekers should text 007-8075 to 31063 to apply. Must be at least 16 years of age.
United by sports. WGSX Lynhaven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Knocked away and intercepted. Ball game.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The fairy tale continues.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
And the breakthrough for the U.S.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let the good times roll with ESPN Northwest Florida. It's a big celebration of New Orleans cuisine, spirits, and music straight from the Big Easy. That's this Saturday, May 21st. Gates open up at 11 a.m. Tickets are on sale now, but you can claim a free family 4-pack on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app. Now welcoming into the Rib Crib Radio Room, pro football writer for the AP, Teresa Walker. How's it going, Teresa?
Doing pretty well. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. I wanted to just kind of keep it based on the Tennessee Titans, but do have a question here for the Memphis Grizzlies as well. But why do you think the hate for Tannehill by Titans fans has turned up lately? I mean, I know that it was a 3-interception game, but it's a team ball game, and there was a lot of mistakes played throughout the whole entire team. What do you think the hate for Tannehill is being caused by?
Well, the fact that the 3 interceptions, the last one with 20 seconds left, I mean, just think, that set up the game-winning field goal. And then, they lost to a team that went on to the Super Bowl. So let's face it, Titan fans kind of thought, we're the number 1 seed. We've survived. We got Derrick Henry back. And then, the defense goes and notches 9 sacks in that game. to tie the playoff record for a single game. And, it just seemed like you've got home field advantage. You'd have home field advantage in the AFC Championship game. They saw the road paved to SoFi Stadium in L.A. and the Lombardi Trophy. And that interception, particularly the one with 20 seconds left, don't throw that. Go to overtime. Of course, you'd win the game. And, that's the thing. It's almost like they've been looking for a scapegoat, to put all their, failed and dashed hopes on Ryan Tannehill's shoulders. And unfortunately, he's got the highest cap number in the NFL this year. He's not going anywhere. And you can't change starting quarterbacks in the NFL as easily as you do in fantasy football, no matter how many moves we had this offseason doing just that. So, it's just an awful lot of hate. And here's the thing. A couple of weeks ago, he talked about how tough the loss was for him as well. Sleepless nights, rewatching the game, trying to see what he could have done differently, better. So to the point that he needed therapy to help him process and kind of work through that. So, and when I tweeted out my story focusing on that, people were like, his scar isn't as deep as mine. And it's like, seriously, calm down, people. So emotions are just very, very high. And then when the Titans go and draft Malik Willis in the third round, moving up 4 spots to draft him too, let's just put it this way. There's a lot of people saying, oh, that's their new quarterback. And it's like, calm down. He was a third-round pick, highest pick that they've used to draft a quarterback since Marcus Mariota at number 2 overall in 2015. But still, a third-rounder. So that doesn't mean he's guaranteed to come out and start the season. Ryan Tannehill is the starter. Mike Vrabel said last week he's the starter. His job is to win games and play the position for us. Malik Willis is going to have to earn his spot on this roster, and he's going to have to fight Logan Woodside to even back up Ryan Tannehill. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this entire offseason goes. I can bet, though, the instant Ryan Tannehill has a bad game, especially at home, there will be people booing him just because they want that mythical quarterback who shoulda, coulda taken him to the Super Bowl already.
Yeah, I mean, but there's so many, because I'm a Tennessee Titans fan as well, so there's so many, well, not so many, but definitely when they had the opportunity to go for 2, and they went for 2, didn't make that. I had no problem with the call, though, right? If you're Vrabel, and how many opportunities do you get to go for 2 from the 1 with a guy like Derrick Henry? But there's, just little minute things in the game, but like you said, that third interception, it was very tough for people. I'm definitely behind Tannehill. What do you think of the decision to draft Malik Willis? No, let's not go there. Let's go to, what do you think of Tannehill's comments on Malik Willis and the whole being a mentor? It's not his job to mentor.
Well, he certainly could have used different words. Sometimes players will repeat words back to them, as they, form their answer. Well, the word mentor was not used in the question. And, Ryan Tannehill could have said it a little better. The fact of the matter is he's going to talk to Malik Willis in the quarterback room, team meetings, on the field during practices, on the field, on the sideline during games this season. But, he could have used some different words. But, here's the thing. He had Malik Willis to his house last week. And, when Malik Willis was asked about it, he kind of went, what comment? We're good. We chopped it up. He had us over to dinner at his house last week. And Mike Vrabel also chimed in and said his job isn't to mentor Malik Willis. His job is to win games for the Tennessee Titans. But the problem is the comment came out at a time where there's no football to talk about. The draft was over. Rookie mini camps were this last weekend. And, we won't be, I know that some teams with new coaches, they're doing OTAs this week. And so reporters will start, we'll see a lot more of what's actually happening on a football field. But, when Ryan Tannehill said that, it was a dead period. And so that kind of helped it kind of explode into social media and on TV and, gave people something to talk about. I had Twitter exchanges with some former Titans who said, that your job is to mentor. And it's like, well, your job is to help explain things and teach things. I maintain still that, mentor is what they've got a quarterback's coach for in Pat O'Hara, a passing game coordinator in Tim Kelly, and, an offensive coordinator in Todd Downing. That's their job. They're literally paid to teach these kids that they've just drafted. And Ryan Tannehill's job, his top job, is to go win games and throw touchdown passes. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully the comments last Friday stick a fork in that. But, yes, Ryan Tannehill absolutely could have used some different language. But you know what? It's that time of year. Sometimes things just get real hot for a moment.
Does it make your job more fun with the overreactions of the Twitterverse and Facebook and social media?
Well, let's put it this way. I led with the fact that he said he needed therapy. I thought that an NFL starting quarterback talking about having a loss so painful that he needed to go into therapy, especially considering some of the the sad, tragic deaths of some college athletes over the last few months. I went with that angle. I didn't even mention or use the quote about, it's not his job to mentor, because I didn't, that's the way I wrote the story, and I didn't even use that quote. So, other people had more time than I did that day, shall we say.
There you go. I mean, but you're spot on. It's not his job. It's Malik's job more than anyone's to learn from Tannehill if he wants to learn from Tannehill. That's just my opinion on it. I love the way that you've given your takes on it, Teresa. Thanks so much for your time. Teresa is an AP Pro Football writer. So do you think that Coach Vrabel this year will give Henry less carries this year because of the injury last year, and drafting Hassan, or will it be feed the king still?
Well, I think that they have wanted for the last few years to take some carries off of Derrick Henry. They know that he is so much more effective in the fourth quarter, because they've been able to run the ball, and they're able to run the ball, and that's usually when he gets a lot of carries and really starts racking up the yards. But, they've tried to get somebody to take that load off of him. Darrynton Evans was supposed to be the guy. They ended up cutting him in March because he just couldn't get on the field. And now they've gone with Hassan Haskins out of Michigan, and, a kid who, very productive last year at Michigan. And so he's going to get a chance to come in and be that guy as well. But that's the thing. You can design, you can bring in guys. They've got to do that to give you a chance to do what they've been saying they'd like to do. And, we'll just have to see. And let's face it, all eyes are going to be on Derrick Henry this year. Yes, he got back on the field in the playoff game after missing 9 games with a broken bone in his right foot. How's he looking? You see some of his workout videos this offseason. His upper body core looks just amazing. I mean, it's muscle on muscle on muscle. No surprise there. But we're all going to be watching the foot. And we'll see how the Titans maybe watch the foot as well, and if they end up limiting some of those carries to help with that. That said, you have a running back in the NFL. Jeff Fisher used to say it all the time. That ball isn't that heavy. When Eddie George was getting carries after carries after carries, that ball isn't that heavy. Problem is that the defenders are. And with Derrick Henry, a guy who's nearly 250 pounds, when he's running, that's another issue, is you're running on that foot. So, we're just going to have to see how his foot survives and what the Titans end up using him, if they're able to get to the plan that they've wanted to, and maybe, keep Derrick Henry closer to 20 carries rather than 30 carries. But we're going to have to stay tuned for that.
The addition of Austin Hooper has been quiet, at least in social media, but I think that they addressed a glaring need from last year in a receiving tight end. Give me your thoughts on that, Teresa.
Oh, completely agree. I mean, with bringing back Anthony Ferguson and Jeff Swain last year, they never really did address tight end. They brought in Julio Jones, but Julio wasn't the Julio of his prime in Atlanta. So, they at least made a move, but it wasn't at tight end. Now Anthony Ferguson's gone. They did bring back Jeff Swain, but Hooper, he signed a big contract in Cleveland after having 2 back-to-back years as a Pro Bowl tight end in Atlanta, where he was being thrown the ball an awful lot by Matt Ryan. So, this offense, they can throw the ball a lot to tight ends, and that's going to give them a chance, I think, to get back to, let's face it, they've given Ryan Tannehill more help and more targets to throw the ball to. I also like the draft pick Chig Okonkwo, who out of Maryland. He's a big kid. He's going to have to work on his run blocking and maybe add a little bit of muscle to his arms and upper body. But he's a guy who had, fastest tight end time in the 40 at the combine. So, at this point, it looks like they have absolutely upgraded the tight end position, first with Hooper, and then with, kind of hedging their bets and looking to the future, drafting Chigakwonkwo.
Are you hearing good things about Robert Woods and his rehab process?
Well, he certainly looked good in the Instagram video he shared over the weekend where he was, kind of high-stepping, quick-stepping through a workout. So that's a good thing. I mean, but, let's face it, the question is going to be, when can he get on the field and start working on chemistry with Ryan Tannehill, and when can he get on the field and practice? He tore his ACL in November after the Titans went to L.A. and beat the Rams. I think it was about mid-November. Everybody heals differently. He's a receiver. He needs that ACL. So we're just going to have to stay tuned to see how quickly he does. He is cleared to get on the field and practice and play.
It was a tough way to go out for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially with the injury to Ja Morant. They battled their tails off, though. What do you expect from the offseason this year for Memphis?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. They have 2 first-round draft picks. So they've got some flexibility and ammunition if they want to go get a particular player. The GM said Sunday that they're not going to be limited in finances in pursuing and doing the things that they need to do to upgrade and improve the roster. He also made clear that Ja Morant's not going anywhere. He is eligible. They can sign him to a max 5-year contract by June 30th, and sure sounds like they're going to do exactly that. This is a team that the biggest improvements and tweaks is going to come probably from the players themselves working this offseason. They made it clear they understand that they've won a title. They see how close they can get to a title, and there seems to be an awful lot of hunger on that roster to improve, learn how to keep their bodies healthy so that they can survive a long postseason after the 82-game regular season, and then secondly, improve their games. So that, as Dylan Brooks said after the Game 6 loss, it's like, that whole series, guarding 2 of the best shooters in NBA history in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, huge learning lessons for the Grizzlies on what they can do and what they need to do to get better.
That is Teresa Walker, ladies and gentlemen, 4-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, also a writer for the AP when it comes to pro football. She covers the Titans, also Predators, Grizzlies. Teresa, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today.
My pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. All right, we're going to go ahead and get to a break, and when we get back, I'll give you guys a Braves update. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. It's 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is the Panhandle's destination for the Atlanta Braves.
Got him, swinging strike three.
Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves are back.
Unbelievable.
And hungry for more. Listen to the world champion Atlanta Braves on a world champion radio station.
Rosario knocked the living daylights out of it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
My weather forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, 70 to 75, light southwest winds. Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny skies and the mid-80s, a southwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. An increasing chance of a shower thunderstorm Friday in the mid-80s or so. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh so crispy. Kraft means a good cayenne kick and all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken, all served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, Kraft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Kraft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
If you're looking for a better car buying experience, Panama City Toyota is the place to be. And right now, during our Summer Starts Here sales event, you'll get 1.9% APR plus no payments for 90 days on great new Toyotas, like the comfortably cool 2022 Camry, our sporty 2022 Corolla, and set your sights on new adventures with 1.9% on the 2022 RAV4. Call or visit our website, where you can reserve your new Toyota in about 5 minutes.
For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com. Offer ends May 31st.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs, broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Engage. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bay Handyman Services, let me tell you 3 things about them. They listen better, they plan better, and they build better. You can reach them at 850-753-5014. That's 850-753-5014. They have 24/7 emergency services. You can find them on their website, bayhandymanservices.com. They still hold a 5-star rating, anything from hanging pictures to full house remodels.
So you know who that was on the intro song, right?
No, I really did not even have my headphones on time.
Limp Bizkit with their new song.
Oh, my goodness. Got some Limp, man. Y'all, yeah, just run it for a second. Hopefully YouTube don't block us.
So it was actually, they're making, it's a video about them turning into their dads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was pretty funny. So I had to sneak it in there today.
Yeah, J-Mac, man, you have done such a fantastic job at upgrading the production of this show, at upgrading, the music. We've got new music every day that J-Mac comes in. If you guys are following along on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you watch the show from Monday and then to Tuesday, you'll know a lot different about just small details. So I'm very appreciative of what you do, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of fun, and I just like seeing us put out a good show.
Amen, man. I appreciate that, guys. And y'all go check out Bay Handyman Services. All right, so before we get it, what you got?
Braves update?
Yeah, Braves update.
I'm excited.
Let's go. All right, so last night, not a bad game on the defensive, let's not say that, from the mound. I don't want to say from the defensive side of the ball because Matt Olson, for the first time in his career, has had an error in 3 straight games. That's tough because when he was in for the first 33 games, doesn't make an error. And now we're sitting here, before the season, it's like, man, we got ourselves a defensive gym. And don't get me wrong, this is nothing, it's nothing to necessarily go crazy about, but it's just odd to see from a defensive first guy like Matt Olson. But the bad part about last night was the Braves striking out 16 times. Everyone within the box score struck out at least once. How are you going to beat a team when the team that you're taking on only had 6 strikeouts in the Brew Crew last night? Ian Anderson, extremely solid. Gave up 1 run, 4 hits, 2 ball on bases compared to 3 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. So a good outing from him last night. Solid outing, I would say. Not a great outing, but a solid outing. And you lose the game 1-0. So, we didn't give up a lot from the mound, but we're not producing a lot. I think it has a lot to do with what Max DeLayden was saying earlier on in the show today of the ball. It's just dead. I mean, when I gave my 3 reasons the other day, long ball, we're a long ball club. Going up against a dead ball, it makes it tough. I'm hoping for some good humidity, a ball change, something, or some of these guys, like when Rosario comes back, he's not as much of a home run hitter as he is a on-base hitter. Ozzie Albies hits a lot of home runs, but he can beat the shift. So we need those guys to kind of step up and just hit better, man. But here's my thing, is that it's not all bad. We're like 4 games off of 500. That's attainable. Secondly, everyone else is freaking out in the social media world, and it's like we were doing the same thing this time last year, and everyone wants to say, well, the Mets are doing better. Okay, but we need to see that for
Right
an
now.
entire season.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
We're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Let's get into the dog days, and let's see how things go, because that's where your experience is going to pay off the most. When you get to those July, August, into September, those games are extremely tough, especially when you're sitting there playing in Georgia.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure. But tonight you got Tucker Davidson taking on Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser is 3-3 with an ERA of 3.86. Good news for the Atlanta Braves here. Ronald Acuna playing designated, or is designated hitting tonight.
Yeah,
but he'll be leading off. So that's big news for the Braves. Want to see him stay healthy. I mean, look at what the New York Mets, speaking of them, are doing with DeGrom. And yet his scapula is getting healthier, but they don't want to rush him. They're not even. He has no timeline to be back on the mound at this point in time. So they're taking it very easy with him. And they've gotten some great production out of their pitching staff as well. And some other news in the injury notes. Tyler Matzik headed to the 15-day IL. That's why Tucker Davidson, he's got recalled, and he'll be pitching tonight. If Matzik hadn't been going to the IL with some shoulder inflammation, then Spencer Strider would have been on the mound. But now I think you're going to see a lot more of Spencer Strider in the bullpen, coming out of the bullpen. He's been doing such a great job. I think he's going to be more of a mainstay filling in for Matzik rather than seeing him as that like middle or early middle relief pitcher. Like if your pitcher can only go 4 innings, I think that you'll see him more 6 in the 7th inning. And the good thing about Strider is you can get multiple innings out of him. He's not a 1-inning guy.
Right.
If you need 6 outs, you're going to get close to 6 outs depending on the game and how it's shaping up. So Matzik is undergoing an MRI on a sore left shoulder. So he's going on the 15-day IL, and he's battled left shoulder discomfort over the past few weeks. The club opted to shut him down after he experienced more discomfort while playing catch before yesterday evening's game. So 6 o'clock for the coverage time, 6:40 for the first pitch tonight at American Family Ballpark. I was looking up tickets, man, they're pretty cheap. You know what else I saw last night? I finally turned on a live Oakland A's game. It's not Photoshop what they're doing out there, y'all. The stadium is empty. I mean, behind the plate, yeah.
Nobody.
No, behind the plate,
Nobody.
You'll see people. But first baseline, you'll see scattered fans. Third baseline, scattered fans. Outfield, nobody.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that it was like they were still warming up, or maybe the time was wrong, but it was nobody there.
Caveman says, would I go? Man, if I lived in Oakland and was a big Oakland A's fan, not even that, and you got to imagine, and I'm only imagining without looking, that the tickets are a little bit cheaper. So, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that I'd be going, yeah, that's what he said, well, bad question to Dave, because he probably would. I mean, if I get tickets for a good price,
yeah. I mean, I'd pretty much go watch anybody for a good price.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, I'm not going to sit there and, like, season ticket it and go see every single game, but some games, yeah. Especially if the price is right, you can find me at the ballpark, man. I love it. I'm going June 24th to watch Freddie Freeman return to Atlanta. If you can get tickets in the same section, man, I'm with it. Or just
so speaking of prices, did you see that the Boston fans have been all over TV complaining about how much more expensive it is to see a game in Boston versus Miami?
Do we know the price difference?
No. And I mean, I was flipping through the internet today, and there's a lady interviewing several people, and they were saying, you know, it's just easier to go catch a game in Miami because it's so much cheaper. And of course, you know, whatever I was doing, my ADD kicked in and I moved on. But they are just not happy.
Well, here's my problem with that. At the rate of gas right now, or if you're flying, once you add those things in, you get your hotel. There's no way that it's that much cheaper. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna look over here on Vivid Seats and see what we can find. Well, this is gonna be for Game 1 in Miami. So all right, so finding tickets for Game 1, and then we'll look at these here in the next segment. But also watched what else did I watch? Ooh, Colorado Rockies and the San Francisco Giants, and the Giants got the better of them last night. Interesting tidbit about the San Francisco Giants is that they're is it 6 through 9? 6 through 9 hitters have outproduced the 1 through 5 hitters by 44 points in the batting average. I believe 1 through 5, and I'm just like recapping this from memory, but they were hitting about 320, whereas 6 through 9 is hitting 364. So that's amazing. And every single statistic that points out, and not the crazy sabermetrics, but just the statistics that we know, that we all know, we're all in favor of hitters 6 through 9. That's the San Francisco Giants. And man, just to think about that, I want to ask Sam tomorrow when we have him on at 5:15, like, if you were the manager of that team, do you just let it ride because the chemistry, the consistency is there through 6 through 9? Or do you take the approach of, especially with analytics, do you take the approach of getting those 6 through 9 guys higher up in the order to get them more ABs?
No, I'm a fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I love that method, and that's why I'm not answering the question. I'm going to ask Sam, who deals with the analytics, because myself, I'm right there with you, though.
Yeah,
if it ain't broke, because I'm more traditional. Like, I want a guy hitting 9 in the day of the designated hitter that is a turn, like, he could double as a leadoff hitter, right? I want a guy that's going to turn the lineup around. I want a guy at number 1, which, you know, even more so teams are not necessarily following this, but I want a guy at number 1 who's getting on base, who's seeing pitches. And that's just not the way that the game is ran these days. So it's, you know, it's a different world that we live in, and that's why I'm not a manager. And that's why I love what Brian Snicker is doing for the Atlanta Braves. What are you snickering?
Oh, it's caveman. He said, if it ain't broke, can you tune it up?
If it ain't broke, I mean, I guess in the world of vehicles, you absolutely can. Drew Brees, what do you think of his, I don't know what you would call that, his statement, Drew Brees' statement? What do you think of pickleball, coming back to football, all of the above? What are you thinking?
From the marketing side of the house, it was genius, right? You got everybody talking about Drew Brees, and not just that he's not on TV anymore, right? Is he coming back? Is he going to go coach? Is he going to do something? What's he going to do? And where, you know, not to say that we haven't thought about Drew Brees in a while, but, you know, it's not like he's been the topic of conversation more than, yeah, he's on TV, you know? But from the marketing side of the house, whoever put that tweet or statement or whatever that was together, like, attaboy.
I really do believe that it would be something that he put together, but it could have been a teammate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like one of his PR people was like, hey, look, if we word it like this.
Yeah.
So he says, despite speculation from media, for those of you who haven't heard it, about my future this fall, I'm currently undecided. I may work for NBC. I may play football again. I may focus on business and philanthropy. I may train for the pickleball tour, the senior golf tour, which is
the Champions Tour.
Yeah. Coach my kids, or all of the above. I definitely see him coaching my kids. Pickleball tour, I don't know, but if he gets good at pickleball with his time off. The reason why it's not working out with NBC, as far as I'm aware, without a source or anything like that, he wanted to call games.
Right.
They had him calling Notre Dame games and Football Night in America, kind of being an analyst on that.
They don't have the amount of games for him to go in and call the way that he wants to call.
That's true.
You know, and I think that was part of the problem is, and he said he didn't care for the studio work. And I think that he wanted to be at the games, calling the games, and they just don't have that many.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then there was a talk a while ago about him going to Fox because they did have the games, and then this, you know, and honestly, the second thought I thought whenever I'd read that was, oh, he's moving to Florida. Pickleball, golf.
That's a fantastic take.
My man's retiring.
He's like retiring legitimately.
Yeah.
But it is going to be. I don't think that he's coming back to play football. No. I just don't.
What is he? 43. Yeah.
If he's not 43, he's 42. He's up there in age. You started to see it slow down. He's already taken a year off, and
I think he just
with
had
the Saints. If you're the Saints, I'm not sure about that. If you're the Saints, though, you've given the job already to Jameis Winston. You've already signed him to a multi-year contract. Not a huge one, but I believe it was 2-year. Do you mess all of that up for a guy that, yes, he did a lot for your franchise, but like if I'm the Tennessee Titans, right, and we get a report, Drew Brees is signing with the Tennessee Titans, I still, as much as Drew Brees has done for the league, in the league, I'm not taking Drew Brees over Ryan Tannehill.
Well, and that was another thought I had was this dude sees all the talent coming into New Orleans.
Yeah, he said that.
And he's like, pick me. I'll go back. Yeah. I want to go play.
But the majority of talent that's coming in, I mean, yeah, you brought in Chris Olave,
Right.
but the majority of talent that's coming in, well, Jarvis Landry as well, but a lot of it is coming in on the defensive side. Well, you got Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu's coming in. They also got Marcus May from the New York Jets. That's going to be the most underrated, if not the best defensive backfield in all of the NFL next year. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were reading a comment.
No, I was just, with Caveman, it's a roulette wheel of what comment he makes. So I always get excited when I see something good over there, and then I read it and I was like,
not so much on this one. All right. So real quick on a J.E. Hall before we get to the next break. He deleted all of his Texas Longhorn content from Twitter. This is about a month after he announced his transfer to Texas. Now he's removed everything, posts, photos, anything relating to him joining the Longhorns. In fact, when I checked it earlier from his his Twitter earlier, his profile picture was him dropping the ball in the end zone in the national championship game. So I don't know what that is necessarily supposed to mean. I have no idea about that, but he only appeared – I'm not done yet. He only appeared in 7 games for Alabama last season. He recorded only 4 catches for 72 yards throughout those 7 games. He had 2 catches for 52 yards in the Natty, but he also had 2 huge drops. So a quote from him here is, one thing that really stood out is the culture. Bama fans, they're not really loving. If I could say, even when you leave. Texas fans are like a family. They love you unconditionally. They want the best for you and want to make sure you're striving to be the best person you are, whether it's people in the stands, players, or coaches. They're all connected, which is a good thing. And so I'm wondering what he's going to say about the Texas fans next when you couldn't even last a whole month there. Now, on the caveat, if he does have a mental issue, I saw someone talk about this on Twitter. If he's got a mental issue, this isn't funny.
Right.
If he doesn't have a mental issue, because to me it sounds like he needs an attitude adjustment.
Right.
That's what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Then it's funny. It's absolutely
It sounds
funny
like he got his feelings
that
hurt.
you went over there to Texas thinking Nick Sarkisian or Steve Sarkisian knows what I got, what I'm capable of. I'm going to go over there, and now you can't even cut it over there. Come on, man. Let's go to break. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. It's J-Mac, David Hayes. We'll be back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college sports from right here in our local area, it's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9. Then the ride home is alive and kicking with the Afternoon Underdogs, covering the gamut of sports. Plus, the radio home for the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. Your local sports station is ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale. Keeping your car looking great is easy as 1, 2, 3 at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. By joining their monthly wash club, you'll get the best bang for your buck. In just 2 car washes, your monthly membership pays for itself, starting at only $19.99 a month. What are you waiting for? Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with another Car Clinic Minute. Driving in downpours can make you blue, or worse, black and blue from an accident. Well, lighten up, because when we come back, I'll give you some colorful hints to drive you through inclement weather. The Car Clinic Minute. It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com on Airport Road in Panama City. That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing. Golden drops of sunshine are better than dangerous downpours. But if rainy, gray clouds are all that's in sight, take these precautions to keep you and your passengers sitting pretty in pink. First, spend a little green to stay on top of your car's maintenance. Have your fluids checked now. Waiting till they're black will cost you. Second, soft and supple wiper blades keep windshields clear on the outside, but a faulty defroster can cause a white haze inside. So check your AC system. Next, remember that proper tire pressure and tread depth are critical for keeping vehicles between the yellow lines. And last, don't forget that a roadside emergency kit can be the rainbow in any storm. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 850-215-6290.
When you have completed dialing, listen for the ringing signal.
104.3 ESPN Memphis, Florida.
It is time to let the good times roll with the Espn Northwest Florida, and everyone's a winner. You can claim a free family 4-pack to the Rudu Music Experience in downtown Panama City. It's a big celebration of New Orleans cuisine, spirits, and music straight from the Big Easy. That's this Saturday, May 21st. Gates open up at 11 a.m. Get on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app and claim yourself a free family 4-pack. Raider Dennis, I did see your text, have not responded to it, but the answer is astoundingly an absolute yes. Thanks so much for listening, Raider Dennis. Appreciate you and all the time that you give us listening to us here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with J-Mac. What's up?
You want to give some away?
Yeah.
With the trivia question?
Yeah.
Why not?
What do you mean?
We didn't do it earlier.
Oh, we didn't do it.
So
okay,
let's
let's
give away
some Rib Crib so that people can go to the Bay County Wrestling Awards tonight. All right, so if you want to go to Rib Crib right now, all you got to do is a $25 gift certificate. What is Dan Mullen's new job? It's an easy Google if you don't know the answer, but I find it kind of funny. What is Dan Mullen's former Florida Gators head football coach? What is his new job? Now, we got a great comment here from Nick Baldwin. Appreciate you listening to us, Nick. He says, Brees apparently was supposed to join Tirico in the booth, but wasn't good enough to supplant Chris Collinsworth. So in my head, I was going to get to, I know that he wanted to join the booth with Tirico because Tirico was kind of making that jump from part-timer to full-timer because he was doing the Notre Dame games. And I did not have the information that he wasn't good enough to supplant Collinsworth. He's one of my favorite to do it. Not a lot of people agree with that, but I love Collinsworth myself. So that is good information. Appreciate you listening, Nick Baldwin. I
like it when we see new people.
Caveman Rick says, I don't like Tirico either. I don't know. I'm mixed on that. I think Tirico is a heck of a sports announcer. I don't know how much I like him on football, but he used to do Monday Night Football, didn't he, with ESPN? I'm pretty sure. And so I didn't like him a ton there. I'm wondering how that – I'm so used to Al Michaels and Collinsworth that it's going to be – it could be weird listening to Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. But let's get into a little bit of college football here. We only got 10 minutes in this segment. And they have released the 2022 college football season openers. ESPN and ABC announced Tuesday that the September 3rd Georgia and Oregon game is going to be at 2:30 our time on ABC. That's 2:30 Central Time on ABC. Following that is going to be Notre Dame at Ohio State at the 6:30 window. So those are going to be some heavyweight marquee matchups. Game day is going to be live from Columbus, Ohio that day. You're also going to have Florida State LSU in New Orleans on Sunday night, September 4th at 6:30, and then September 24th, Wisconsin. These are kind of just marquee games here. September 24th, Wisconsin at Ohio State. Texas versus Oklahoma on October 8th. And then to wrap the season up for the first time ever on a Friday in my life, Florida at Florida State on Friday, November 25th. I've seen some numbers. I don't know if it's factual or not, but 6:30 is looking to be the start time for that game. I do think by the time that we get to that, it depends on the positioning, the rankings, the situations for Florida and Florida State at what time that game will be played on Friday, November 25th, which is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. still excited for that game regardless. I really do think that this is going to be the best Florida State game that we've had in maybe 3 years. Even though last year was good, when there's not as much on the line for the teams, there's just not the same feeling, especially in this area where you have so many Florida State and Florida Gator fans.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a great place, a great location. I don't know how I feel about Friday night though.
Yeah.
Especially on Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah, and so I think it's a poor time to do it, but you know the dedicated fans are gonna leave Target and go home and watch the football game no matter what. So you know,
is Target your SOC?
No, but that's where I typically get drugged to if that's where we're going to shop. You know,
no doubt. So I wanted to kind of go through these. Give me your guys' takes as well. 1 through 5. How do you got these games ranked just for opening weekend? So number 1 for me, man, is gonna be not Ohio State. It's gonna be Georgia and Oregon. Basically because Dan Lanning, he's Oregon's head coach now. It's going to be his first time back against his dogs, man. He was the DC over there at Georgia, and so I'm loving that matchup. I love storylines. So for me, number 1, Georgia at Oregon. We've got somebody on the phone?
We do.
All right. Who we got on the air with us?
This is Ronnie Barwick.
Hey, Ronnie. Thanks so much for calling, man.
Good to talk to y'all.
Yes, sir.
Long-time listener.
Oh, wow. Awesome, man. Really do appreciate that. So are you playing trivia or you want to talk some sports?
He's got a trivia.
I can do either or. I can do both.
All right. So let's start with the trivia. So this is your chance to win $25 to Rib Crib. What is Dan Mullen's new job?
I believe he took a job as a high school assistant under one of the previous assistants that Kirby Smart had.
Yes, sir. You're 100% right.
I'm not sure what school it is. Something Academy out of Georgia.
It's Lake Okanawee, or I believe I'm saying that right. Academy. It's in Greensboro, Georgia. But that was it. I just wanted to hear that he was working at a high school, and I was going to give it to anybody just because it's kind of crazy to go. It's even crazier that he went to a place that Kirby Smart used to work at. But it's crazy to go as from the head coach of the Florida Gators to working at a high school now. His son is actually looking to go to this school, so I think that might have something to do with it, and it could be Dan Mullen saying, hey, I'm going to take a year off and look for a job that I really do want to go kind of change the program for better or worse. So who's your team?
Who's mine? I'm a Florida State fan.
So what do you
college?
What do you think about Florida being played on Black Friday this year?
Honestly, I don't really have too much of a problem with it, really. I mean, I don't see too much other than, everything's always about shopping and everything, but I don't really see anything sports-wise. I mean, when I think of Black Friday, it's always about, going and getting stuff out, being prepared, getting it cheaper for Christmas or whatever, vice versa. But, there has to be something for the men on that day. I mean, we got to be able to do something, watch something,
Hey, and we're going to save a lot of money doing it, man, as long as we can keep our credit cards tied to our wallet so the ladies don't get them. Oh, man, so who's your NFL team?
NFL, I actually like Tennessee Titans.
Oh.
I was never a fan of a lot of the teams around here in Florida, and I wasn't a big NFL fan for the longest time. And I had a friend of our family who lived outside of Nashville. So when I was a child, I was about 10 years old, 11, I was able to go to one of my first games ever was Eddie George and Steve McNair, Frank Wycheck, pretty much the whole crew after the Super Bowl.
That is
99. Yeah, so I got really lucky with that. But no, that's my two teams I watch. I don't really watch NBA as much. I'm more of a college basketball person. I love college basketball, college sports mainly, which is pretty much the whole South anyways.
Yeah, no doubt, my man. Hey, thanks so much for the call. Do me a favor and text the same number that you called, 850-215-6290. But if you want to come right now to the studio, how far do you think you're away from Public Shopping Center on 23rd?
How far am I away? Probably about a half an hour. I'm actually just getting home from work, and I can probably shoot by and pick it up. I'll just send you my details.
Let me see here. Do me a favor, text me to the same number that you called right here, and I'm going to work something out with you, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right. Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thanks so much for listening. We really do appreciate the calls, the listeners. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and we'll continue to do our best for you. And if you got any ideas for the show, anything that you'd like to hear, we're always fans of talking about what the fans want to hear. So we need to go ahead and take a break, though, J-Mac. So we're going to do that when we get back, get into a little bit of local, how good your dude R.J. Yeager is doing, because if practice allows, he's going to be on the show with us tomorrow at 5 o'clock via the telephone. So that's going to be awesome. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
It's the Rudu Music Experience this Saturday in downtown Panama City. A celebration of New Orleans cuisine, spirits, and music. From the Big Easy to the edge of St. Andrews Bay. Gates open at 11. More information at rudu.com. And to claim a free family 4-pack of wristbands to the Rudu Music Experience, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
All right, with the forecast overnight, mostly clear skies, 70 to 75, light southwest winds. Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny skies and the mid-80s, a southwest wind about 10, 12 miles per hour. An increasing chance of a shower thunderstorm Friday in the mid-80s or so. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
If you're looking for a better car buying experience, Panama City Toyota is the place to be. And right now, during our Summer Starts Here sales event, you'll get 1.9% APR plus no payments for 90 days on great new Toyotas, like the comfortably cool 2022 Camry, our sporty 2022 Corolla, and set your sights on new adventures with 1.9% on the 2022 RAV4. Call or visit our website, where you can reserve your new Toyota in about 5 minutes.
For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com. Offer ends May 31st.
Termites. They're eating our homes away from the inside out. At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we have a safe green program which will stop termites from ever getting to your home. It's the Centricon Colony Elimination System from Dow. Bait stations are placed around your home. There is no intrusive drilling. Area termites are then lured to these stations. They take the bait back to the colony where all are destroyed. Centricon doesn't just repel termites, it eliminates them. Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting yours since 1968.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food, on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
From the Florida-Panama line to the Gulf of Mexico, from the Upper Grand Lagoon to McKenzie Park, we are live and local.
Whether you like it or not, you have a gift.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, live from the Rib Crib Radio Room, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Y'all head over to Rib Crib right now, because at 6 o'clock, we've got the Bay County Wrestler Awards going on, and it's going to be great. C.J. Williams getting his scholarship to Huntington College. It is going to be a fun time. Go get you a Chunky Boys burger, and then challenge Coach Siegel to the challenge. So let's see what we can... If anybody goes over there, I'm challenging you guys. If anybody goes over there and beats Coach Siegel, they're going to get $25 gift certificate to Rib Crib.
We'll pay for the burger.
We're gonna pay for their burger, not at that point in time, but they'll get they'll get a gift card and an ESPN Northwest Florida T-shirt. R.J. Yeager named finalist for the Ferris Trophy. He was one of 5 nominees. We talked about this yesterday, hoping to have him on the show with us tomorrow at 5 o'clock. He is presented to the most outstanding college player in the state of Mississippi. It's named in honor of Dave Bo Ferris, who's a former MLB star and coach at Delta State University there in Delta State University in Mississippi.
Believe it or not, that's a big college.
Well,
they have programs you wouldn't even believe up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of, the former host here, Leanne Schwarzentrooper, the coach's daughter, she's from Meridian, Mississippi, where you are, and there's not, you can't have a conversation with someone else who comes on the air or whatever, and Meridian, Mississippi doesn't come out.
It's weird.
It is so weird, bro. As one of the most famous cities in in America without really being that famous.
And there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. Well, cow fields and stuff, right?
Well, there's a Navy base and,
there's a Navy
and an
base.
airport. And they have MCC, which is Meridian Community College. A lot of guys leave there, and they go up to Scuba Tech, which is East Mississippi Community College.
Oh, yeah.
Such a
They had the show about that.
Yeah, and a lot of guys come out of there and play pro ball. Like, it's surprising. East Mississippi Central, EMCCC. We call it Scuba Tech.
Scuba Tech.
A lot of guys come out of there and go play big time ball. So it's weird, Mississippi just doing weird things as usual.
Yeah, RJ is from Mosley. Then he went to Mercer. Then he transferred from there as a graduate transfer all the way to Mississippi State and doing his thing there, leading the SEC with 41 hits, 13 home runs in conference play. In total, he's got a team-leading .317 batting average, 17 home runs, 52 RBIs, 59 hits, 37 runs, 14 doubles, and 1 triple. As we mentioned yesterday, Bay United is hosting a competitive tryout this week, and that's today, 5:30 at the Public Sports Park Field, and also Thursday. It's open to kids who were born between 2003 and 2015. If y'all go challenge Coach Siegel, and he lets me know that y'all beat him, I'm getting you, and it can only be one winner. It can only be one winner, but $25 gift card.
Take a pic,
Rib Crib.
Put it on our Facebook page and tag us.
Oh, that is such a great way. And also do the same thing whenever you're riding through the city here in Bay County and Panama City, and do that with the billboards. And John Wilson, a.k.a. Bone Crusher, will get you all tightened up. Cool little story here, but before we get to that, we do have a piece of breaking news out of the NBA dealing with the playoffs in Game 1 due to health and safety protocols. Our man Al Horford is not playing tonight, so I don't necessarily that is an advantage, I think, for and Marcus Smart is out as well.
Yeah, with his foot.
Marcus Smart out, Al Horford out. You gotta think, right? And it's been deadly to think in these NBA playoffs, but you gotta think advantage Miami being at the house.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have to see, man. I was looking up those tickets earlier to sit. Let's look at the nosebleeds. This is like 132 to sit there at nosebleeds in Miami. And then if you go to game one of in the Boston Garden, let's see here. Wow, about 405 for.
So I guess they're justified.
Yeah, but do you really think you're gonna save $300 by plane ticket by?
I don't think it was like we're going to come down there and watch it. I think
no.
they're just like, well, they get more fans because it's cheaper.
Oh, okay. So that's what I thought they were saying. They were traveling down to go. I'm like,
I'm sure I'm going to get some shade over this, but typical Boston people being typical Boston people.
There you go. Another cool story here. We only got a few minutes, but Nike has signed its first high school athletes to an NIL deal as soccer players, and their sisters, Alyssa and Giselle Thompson, were signed by Nike. So Alyssa's a junior, Giselle's a sophomore at Harvard Westlake High School in L.A. Both of them inked an undisclosed agreement only days after Nike announced deals with UCLA soccer player Rylan Turner and Stanford golfer Rachel Heck. The Thompsons posted on Instagram showing a trip to Nike on Saturday that resulted in their NIL deal. Both sisters are committed to play soccer at Stanford and are members of the U.S. national team youth system for soccer. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm always happy for the athlete. I don't know how I feel about it at the high school level at this point in time because things are going crazy.
What would you have done with that much money in high school?
Oh,
Invested it smartly and used
unless
it
my parents helped me.
No, my parents would have had to break me off something nasty to get me not to spend that money.
100%. Because I think that it would have, knowing me in high school, not comparing myself to any other high school. If it's Valerie Solorio getting that money,
she's different.
She's a real estate agent.
I'm talking about me and you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm talking about me and you.
She would be a real estate agent the next day and then continuing in high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she'd own her own business this week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With me though, I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to
bump high school. Give it to me right now. See what happens.
Well, right. But I mean, even college, I think I would have been a little bit more mentally stable with it, like, you know what I mean, doing the right
financially
things. Yeah,
prudent.
financially prudent. Great way to put that. But in high school, ain't no way, because it's like, hey, not only that, I'm helping all my boys out.
Oh yeah, we all
you
get
need
stuff.
lunch. All right, let's go to Longhorns and get the most expensive. You know what I mean. Then as you get older or whatever, there's a difference in helping people and just doing for people. You know what I mean? Like that's not giving at that point. That's just kind of blowing your money on things that people don't really need. So, hey, what a heck of a day it's been, man. We're going to go ahead and tap out for this afternoon. Coach James Hale will be live at 7 a.m. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Afternoon Underdogs. The Atlanta Braves are coming up next. First pitch at 6:40. Coverage starts in about 3 minutes.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Giannis is the best player in the world. That doesn't change with the fact that he had a bad day and lost. I think he wore down from carrying that team practically.